What kind of place must be built not for conquest or shelter, but to open a doorway into death itself? Darth Vader's fortress on Mustafar is one of the most iconic and ominous structures in the galaxy, but its twisted spires weren't designed by engineers or Imperials. They were designed by an ancient Sith Lord and mad artist, Darth Momin, a figure long thought forgotten. His goal? To pierce the veil of the Force and reach into the realm of dead itself. But how did this long dead Sith return to influence the Empire? And why did Vader, servant of Darth Sidious, gamble everything on building a doorway through which no Sith had ever returned? Let's travel to the lava-scorched plains of Mustafar and uncover the maddest architectural project in Star Wars history. Why did Vader choose Mustafar, of all worlds, as the site of his personal domain? In 14 BBY, fresh off surviving an attempted betrayal by a rogue Inquisitor, Darth Vader approached his master with a rare request. He wanted a world to call his own. Palpatine offered Tatooine and Naboo, symbolic worlds from Anakin Skywalker's past, but Vader refused them both. He instead asked for Mustafar, the planet of his greatest suffering, where Anakin Skywalker had died and Darth Vader had been born. Palpatine consented, intrigued by his apprentice's choice. He dispatched Vader with a team that included Colonel Alva Bren, Lieutenant Rogo, and most notably, a mysterious relic, the mask of Darth Momin. But why would Sidious, Master of the Sith, hand his apprentice a Sith artifact even he did not fully trust? Unknown to most, Momin's mask carried a preserved imprint of his consciousness, an echo of a Sith sculptor obsessed with channeling the dark side through art. Sidious had discovered the mask hidden away in the Jedi archives, where it had been locked up after Momin's gruesome crimes. At some point before the Clone Wars, the mask had begun to speak to him, revealing glimpses of its ancient creator. Upon arrival on Mustafar, Vader rejected the Imperial designs for a fortress, dismissing Colonel Bren's blueprints outright. Shortly after, the mask possessed Lieutenant Rogo, killing Bren and allowing Momin to once again inhabit a living body. But Momin wasn't interested in loyalty. He had a vision, a dark masterpiece that would reshape the Force itself, and he believed Vader's pain could power it. So why did Vader tolerate the manipulations of a known traitor? Momin proposed a design unlike any other, a tuning fork for the Force, a fortress that would resonate with the dark-side nexus beneath Mustafar's surface. He promised that if built, it would allow Vader to pierce the veil of mortality and reach Padme Amidala, the wife he had lost, and the pain he could never let go. Construction began, but the first attempt failed. So did the second, the third, the fourth. Each failure caused disruptions in the Force. Lava storms tore across Mustafar, and native Mustafarians began attacking the site, viewing the construction as a desecration of sacred land. With each failure, Vader destroyed Momin's host body and forced the mask to possess another: officers, troopers, workers. Over 2 years, the process repeated again and again. Why didn't Vader simply destroy the mask and end this madness? Because Momin's ninth design actually worked. But what lies beyond the veil of the Force, and who dares step through? As the ninth iteration of the fortress began to resonate with the dark side, Vader returned to the Sith cave to channel the Force through it. But just as the portal began to open, Mustafarian warriors launched a massive assault. Captain Junis begged Vader for aid, leaving Momin alone with the fortress. Seizing the opportunity, Momin betrayed Vader. Using the energy of the portal, he resurrected his original body. For the first time in millennia, Darth Momin stood alive, remade in flesh. But Momin's triumph was short-lived. The Mustafarians overwhelmed the Imperial garrison. Vader returned, furious, and unleashed the power of the dark side through the tower, wiping out the attackers in a cataclysmic lava storm. But Momin was waiting. He challenged Vader to a duel. Could Vader, battered and drained, defeat a Sith reborn through his own obsession? The duel between Vader and Momin was brutal. Momin believed Vader unworthy of the Darkside's gifts, claiming he sought to control a power meant only to be served. Vader, weakened from the battle and badly wounded, nearly lost. But in a moment of unrelenting focus, he called upon the Force to crush Momin beneath a massive stone slab. Momin screamed that the Darkseid would save him. It didn't. And with that, the twisted artist was no more. But would the portal, the gateway to death, still function? With Momin crushed beneath the weight of his own arrogance, the final design of the fortress began to resonate fully with the Darkseid. The obsidian spires aligned, the Force groaned, and with a pulse of power, the gateway opened. Darth Vader stepped forward, and his soul left his body. His physical form collapsed beside the portal, still and lifeless. Yet with the metaphysical realm beyond, Vader's essence surged through darkness and memory. What he found was not peace, not clarity, but torment. It was not the world between worlds. Something raw, something more personal. The Darkseid had opened a door to Vader's very soul, and it had not come unarmed. First came the past. Flashes of memory assaulted him. Visions from his childhood. The roar of pod racers at the Boon to Eve Classic. His first meeting with Padme. His victory. His freedom. Then his time as a Jedi. Moments of hope, pride, even arrogance. Every success tinged with the seeds of future failure. Then, his mother, Shmi Skywalker, appeared to him in the void. Her expression soft, loving, but also mournful. She reached for him. He could not touch her. Then came the voice of Darth Sidious, whispering like smoke in his ears. "You are mine, Lord Vader." And in the distance he saw his younger self, Anakin Skywalker, staring back at him, full of confusion and fury. But Vader pressed on. Then came the judgment. The haze parted, and the Jedi Temple rose from the mist. It loomed before him, unchanged from the night of his betrayal. But now, it was not empty. From its shadows stepped figures, dozens of them, Jedi Masters, Knights, Padawans, ghosts from Vader's sins. He knew them all. Some he had slain himself on the night of Order 66. Others he had hunted down during the Great Jedi Purge. And some had died because he let them. They did not speak. They attacked, yelling in silence, wielding lightsabers of pure memory. They fell upon him, one after another. Master Plo Koon, Sindralig, and above them all, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Not as the broken, older man of Tatooine, but the brother he had once loved, robed, resolute, and furious. One by one, Vader cut them down again, and again, until silence fell, until the weight of every life taken lay in pieces at his feet. But there was no peace, only another face in the mist. Then came Padme. She stood before him, not a vision of torment, but of love. Alive, whole, radiant. Padme Amidala reached toward him, and for a moment, Vader's soul trembled. This was why he had come. This was what the portal had promised. He begged her to come with him, to leave this place, to live again, to be by his side. But she did not move. Instead, she looked into his eyes and saw only the monster he had become. "You're not him," she whispered. "Anakin Skywalker is dead." And then, in a vision shaped by the Force, she took her life, due to his refusal to let go. Then came his son. A beam of light cut through the darkness. Blue, brilliant, blinding. And standing within it was the shape of a young man, Luke Skywalker, his silhouette radiating all that Vader had turned from: hope, light, the future. Luke did not speak, he only raised his hand, and with that gesture, Vader's spirit was pulled backward, out of the portal, out of the dark, back into his body. When Vader awoke, the portal still pulsed behind him. It had worked. It had shown him everything: his past, his sins, his future. And it had taken everything from him. In a surge of fury, Vader rose and turned to the gateway. He extended his hand, and he destroyed it. The stone shattered, the Force screamed, and the last chance at resurrection, at undoing what had been done, was annihilated. What remained? Only Vader, alone on a dead world, surrounded by ashes, corpses, and failure. The Sith had promised him power, but could not deliver love, could not return the dead. Vader would no longer seek the past, he would rule it. Vader contacted Sidious and said only, "I am ready to return to Coruscant." The Mustafarians were annihilated, the Imperial garrison was gone. Momin was dead once again. All that remained was Vader and the mask. In the years that followed, the castle became a secluded stronghold for Vader. Eventually, the lava fumes drove an Imperial inspector insane. Vader kept him alive, twisting him into his personal servant, Vinay, who would become the keeper of the fortress for years to come. But what do you think? Would Vader have changed if he had resurrected Padme? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, like, subscribe, and join us next week for another deep dive into the archives. Thanks for watching.